Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I am picking up on definitely a karmic situation, but it does all center around a masculine who is terrified, is what I'm hearing. But I don't think he presents as terrified. I think he presents as like calm, cool, collected, or as charismatic or unbothered. Confident, something here like that. But I'm seeing this masculine be paired up with a feminine. And whoever this feminine is, she's great. Like, she's beautiful. She is fun. She is interesting. She's well-rounded. Like, she's genuinely a good person. And these two genuinely seem like they have it all together. And I feel like they would. It's just that he would. They have to build it. That's what they would. That really stick out to me. Wood being like the base material. It's like they have the base material between the two of them to build everything, to build a house, a home. But it's just that base material because he's kind of refusing to pick up his end of the bargain. And I think this man feels non-committal. He's scared. It comes from some kind of fear. I think he's intimidated by her as well, although I don't think he admits that to himself or out loud. So instead, he's trying to control her, and he's trying to control his feelings, and he's trying to control, likes to think that he has more control over the situation than he does. So he involves third parties. And I feel like this is there's a number of them. I'm kind of seeing the Four of Cups, which is maybe 4 people, or it could be 3 people, but there's a quality here of everybody thinking that they're the favorite. And I think it's because this guy has some kind of like pizzazz, or he has some kind of something where he can make you feel like the favorite. And I think he might spin a yarn, and there's something about his attention. And if you're being honest with yourself, if you're one of these people on the side here, there's something about his attention because of her. Because she's beautiful, because I just heard fancy, because she seems to have everything, but yet his attention is on you. And that is that's the gravity. It's actually weirdly her gravity that's like kind of adding to his attractiveness and like your focus. And I can see that you're confused by his attention, but you are also kind of flattered by it. And I do think there's an attraction here. Again, if you're one of these third party people on the side, because he might be attractive. And it feels like in some kind of superficial way, I'm getting like he might be physically attractive. He might be attractive in his personality or have something going for him in terms of his career. But the attraction between the two of you is superficial in the sense that there's not a genuine soul connection here. You know, I think he might have something on like a physical or superficial level where it's like everybody kind of agrees that that's neat. You know, like that's neat that he's very smart or very educated or very talented. That's really neat that he's very fun or he's very charismatic or, whatever. That's neat, and he has a kind of quality to him that makes him physically attractive. But that's really it. That's the draw here. And again, the other draw is this lady that he's attached to and attracted to and really is his soulmate, and he really does love her and he wants her, but he runs away from her. And I'm seeing that he keeps running away from her, but at the same time he feels very rooted to her because there is a calling over this, is what I'm hearing. I just heard there's a calling over his life, and there's a calling, there's like a root. I'm seeing the root. And again, with like the tree imagery and the wood, they're like rooted to the same ground, and they have wood. And Spirit is illustrating this to me in a funny way where he's showing me like a mixer where there's a lot of people just mixing and mingling around in this mixer, and as two people approach each other, something appears in between them. And for some people it's like a lollipop, like you have like a nice little treat, a nice little conversation, it's sweet, but then you kind of move on. And they're showing me that there are certain connections where the base is like wood or clay, and that's what these two have. They have a real shot. They have real chemistry. They could really go the distance. And that's not the energy that you have with this masculine. But I think that you're drawn into it because you see the fanciness of what he's got with this other person. You see the potential of their life together, and you're drawn into that. And a part of you superimposes yourself in that. But you don't have the same chemistry with this guy. But I feel like it's just superficial. And I think there might be an attention issue here, or there might be a self-esteem issue here where you compare yourself unfavorably to other people just in general. And so it's a feeling of win. He's baiting you in with competition, and competition is the opposite energy of love. So again, I think I'm talking to like the third party energies here. He is baiting you in with competition, and it's really low down and it's very dirty because he's using his other lover person to do that. And I think you even see that she is everything and that she's not a threat to him, and that he could trust her. You know, he could have everything with her. And I just heard the word altar. It's like, oh, altar. It's where like you make a sacrifice to like a goddess or a god or something. Like he should sacrifice himself on her altar. He should sacrifice everything for her. You kind of know that. I think you kind of, maybe you're beginning to, I think that what I want to say to you, and this might hurt, do not be tempted to tell yourself that the reason he's in your face is because of an attraction. I mean, he might well be attracted to you. I'm sure you're an attractive person, you know? We find ourselves attracted to a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons throughout life. It's not the same thing as like this like pursuit. Just know where it comes from. And I think you either know this, you suspect this, or you're starting to realize it comes from his own non-committal nature. He's running from her into your arms, but he's not trying to run towards you. And I think that's something for you to be aware of. And I think that's something for you to take very seriously and kind of dismantle within yourself. And I think it's scary for you to do that because I think for some of you, there's already a self-esteem issue here. And basically what this has done is it's sparked this for you. It's like that hermit lamp. It's kind of showed you that. I just heard there's a tinder box here. Oh, Tinder. That needs to kind of be burnt. Maybe some of you are tired of being on Tinder or something. And so here's this guy and he's in your face and he's pursuing you. And maybe he's spinning a yarn about this person because I think he would need to come with an explanation as to why the person that is clearly his and that they clearly have everything with, and there's literally not a thing wrong with this other lady. Why is he in your face? So he could spin a yarn about her. It's a lie, you know, something here like that. And I think that you're working on accepting that in order to actually, he is present. You know what he is? He's a distraction. He's a Band-Aid for your own self-esteem issues where you can kind of run from it for a while. But I think that this is going to end badly because he's non-committal. And you see that he's got everything with this girl over here and he can't, or this woman, I should say, and he can't get it together for her. He's not going to get it together for you, you know, or anybody else. And if he tries to get into some kind of long-term relationship with anybody but her, I think it's like retaliatory, or he's trying to get her attention, but he's not trying to commit to her. So it's like he's running away from her. And that's what's creating this like third party situation and it's all built on distraction where everybody can overhear in this like, and I think this has gone on for lifetimes because there's a stability to it. And I think everybody here, and I think that there's more than one person that he hooks up with on the side potentially as well. Because again, they're showing me like the 3 and then the 1. There could be one really attractive person here. And part of their karma is just they're not the favorite. Like, and I think that might be the tower moment. You can be as attractive, but she still doesn't have that thing with him that this other person does. They're still not soulmates. They're still karmics. All of this is built on distraction. He's trying to distract himself with ass or, distract himself with these like little short-lived temptations, these dopamine hits. And so it's preventing him from the exact opposite energy. I just heard it's preventing him from finding his serenity, his peace, his genuine happiness. But he's scared of it. I think he's scared of her. And I think you can see that he has no reason to be, that she is soft and that she is not going to hurt him. Because I think he views the emotional pull and the emotional sway that she has over him as a kind of control, as a kind of power, and it is. But power and control are different, is what Spirit is saying. Power and control are different. I think this man needs to learn it. So if he's gone into a karmic cycle with maybe you or maybe somebody else here, because I think I'm hearing time's up. And I feel, I just saw somebody flip a coin in the air. And it's like, make a choice, make a choice, make a choice. Because I feel like in this lifetime, she's done with it. She's over it. Her soul is like tired of this. And I'm hearing the choice for him is quality or quantity. And that really is the choice. Is he going to have a quality love in his life or quantity? And he will have to live out the karmas of one of those choices, whichever path he chooses. And I think it will teach him that power and control are two different things. Because control is an abuse of power. And that's what he does. He abuses this. And I feel like that's what he does in his third party situation. And I also think that's what he's trying to do here with his love even is, because there's genuine love here. So that love that she also feels for him or could feel for him if he stopped dicking around is a kind of power that they both have over each other. And it's about managing that power balance between the two of them. And it's about being worthy of it. And it's about creating I just saw, okay, so I saw them with the wood, right? And they built the house. And then I saw the power energy charging up the electricity of the home. Again, it's like they've got everything that they need. It's about getting everything in the right place and in the proper amount. But it is a closed circuit. I don't know anything about electricity, but I'm hearing a closed circuit in order to flicker that electricity on. And there's an immense power between the two of them. And I'm seeing them build up a structure, a home, a shelter, something. And other people are benefiting from it here as well. So it's about that, and he would learn that power and control are different because she may have a power over him, but he has a power over her, and both of them are going to show that they're worthy of that love and of that power, and that they don't seek to control the other one, that they just wish to bask in it, and to experience it and to have it for a lifetime. And that would be a very fruitful endeavor for the two of them. Or he's going to go the quantity route where he seeks to induce this experience in other people. So he's a fake. He's a performer. He knows how to make a woman feel wanted, is what I just heard. I just heard from, Chasing Liberty. And maybe liberty is like freedom, true liberation here. It's understanding the nature of it. And also I'm hearing fear of freedom. Because there's freedom actually over here in his partnership. That's an irony. That's a paradox here. But he has to understand that power and control are two different things. But anyways, there's a character in Chasing Liberty, and he's kind of a vagabond, and he's a thief. And this person is a thief. They're a thief of time, and they're a thief of emotion because they know how to drum up and milk an emotion from somebody in order to get a high off of it. It's giving kind of like, narcissists feed off a supply. And he is in a very narcissistic energy. I don't know if this guy's a narcissist. It's kind of giving borderline. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just kind of trying to suss out the energy here. But, it's giving narcissist, and we become narcissistic when we are defensive. All of us do. Because narcissism to a certain extent is a base trait, but when we're talking about somebody who has a disorder, we're talking about someone who's extremely imbalanced. And I think actually around his love here, he becomes that way. He becomes imbalanced because he's scared. And so he feels justified in putting up his defenses. And so then he gets very selfish and he only thinks about himself. And then he creates this distraction. And it's to puff his own self up. So he's trying to engage in these third-party situations to control his own, to mitigate his own emotional space and to mitigate his own self-esteem. So he doesn't have coping skills, this guy. So he might seem very suave and he might seem very charming. Okay, I didn't get to the point of what I was saying about the Chasing Liberty thing, but he says this one quote. He's like, I'm McGruff. McGruff's his name. I'm McGruff, and I know how to make a lady feel like she's wearing clothes fresh out the dryer. So I feel like, he might know that. It's this well-practiced routine of getting somebody kind of hot and bothered because he's playing with control. He doesn't actually feel it. He doesn't feel love or emotions. He knows how to put his attention on somebody to make them feel chosen and to make them feel special. And what he's actually done is he's drummed up a lot of negative energy around his lady love here. A lot of evil eye, a lot of competition, because that's what he's baiting you in with. And I feel like part of your shadow work here is to recognize that the competition element, trying to triumph over somebody here and stomp them into the dirt, it's not a sustainable or healthy way of gaining your self-esteem. You have to go after that pursuit in and of yourself. And that's the path to your soulmate. That's the path to your fulfillment. So you may be a bit non-committal here too, where that's why you keep engaging and indulging in this cycle, is because it is a distraction for you, and it is also potentially keeping you safe from having to go out there and drop your guard and build with somebody. Because when you build with somebody as well, part of what this is highly distracting, because your life would settle down. And I'm convinced that most people can't be alone. I think a lot of people are terrified of being alone, especially when we don't know ourselves. So we don't know what we're going to find when all of our thoughts settle and we start to remember things that we've done or the goals that we have or So if we don't know ourselves, that's what happens. But also if we've done bad things, if we've done things that we are not proud of and our ego defenses have been keeping us from processing it in order to help us stay sane and go about our day, which is normal. But then you should be kind of, all right, I'm going to look at this now. I'm not proud of this. And I think some of you are preoccupied with him and thinking that there's a romance when all it is a karma and all it is a distraction. And it's you trying to outrun your shadow work and building up a genuine love and a self-esteem. Oh my gosh, I just saw you run over and give her a hug. I just saw you run over and give her a hug. Oh, and I just heard you say mom. That's weird. That's weird. I have no idea what that is. Because she's learning ya. She's teaching you, or it's her light. She's the warmth in this situation, kind of, It's her. I think you feel actually very safe and very calm oh my gosh, she may be a teacher to you or a friend to you from a past life, and she's put herself here across from you from him, because he's got to work out his own shit, and she knows it on a soul level, even if she can't see it quite yet in the physical. And she loves you, and she's friends with you, and I think you guys have this little agreement, and she says, I'm going to be here for you, honey. When you want to embark on your self-esteem journey, you run right over to me. But you got to get past him first, don't you? You got to know that he is not your friend if he's hitting on you. Okay, and that it's not love if he's keeping you from yourself and from the path that you're meant to be on. If he's using you as a plaything, and that's what it is. He's using you as a plaything in order to keep everybody here postponed and stalled, karmically speaking. And it's his own fear, and it's his own selfishness that's the tyrant. I think you feel a connection with her, actually, is what I think it is. And I even think that you're being enamored with him as you being enamored with her. How can you have her? How can you have her attention and you're paying attention to me? And that's because I'm seeing 3, and then I'm seeing the 1 up on the pedestal. So there could be another karmic here that's maybe very physically attractive, but she doesn't have much inner beauty or inner grace. But she likes to rival with this other person on that. And but again, I don't think regardless of how attractive she is, I don't think he feels the same way for her. I don't even think he experiences the same sensations with her. You know what I'm saying? Like that he does with his soulmate here. And that's what he's so afraid of. He's afraid of the electricity between them. He's afraid of the chemistry. And she's got something to learn about that too, that you can have all the superficial, she might be rich, there's somebody here who just really thinks a lot of themselves, but it's because of all the stuff that's going to pass away when they die kind of thing. It's not real. It's very superficial. Again, it's this preoccupying energy over here in this karma, this like karmic energy. And I actually think she's quite adverse, and she's going to move away from this situation, maybe in a haughty huff, because I think she can't cope with not being the favorite or not having somebody's like full attention or something like that. And it's out of her control. It makes her feel out of control. I don't know where you're at in this. It makes her feel out of control, that the superficial thing that she usually dangles, it's not actually working, And so then maybe she has a preoccupation with him that she wouldn't naturally have, but it's just because all of these people are interested in this man because of his lady over here. And I've picked up on that message before. And it's really because he's trying to run away from the intensity of their connection. And that's where the connection is, though. And all of this is extremely non-committal. And I think some of you may actually have some of those tendencies as well. But it's falling prey to the distraction and the competition instead of the genuine love. And for some of you, it's keeping you from being able to have girlfriends and to build that kind of love, that kind of friendship. Because I think you do like her, and I think that you would have benefited or would benefit greatly if he would stop hitting on you. Because for some of you, you're not even interested in this man, and you kind of see it and you're wary of it, and also you just don't believe you're not going to put yourself in a third-party situation because, again, you know that that's just going to hurt your own self-esteem. You're not really interested in going through that mental torture for some of you, but also you think highly of her, and also some of you just really will never engage in a third-party situation because it's beneath you. But I think even still, you can't befriend her or be around her because you want a Venus relationship with her, actually. Or you would benefit from that, or your soul wants it, and you still can't pursue that because he's hitting on you, and he needs to stop it because now he's made it uncomfortable for you to be around her. And maybe you even feel guilty, and now you're like, I feel like I should tell you that this man's hitting on me. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you should. I don't know. Maybe you should. But yeah, because I feel like that's you actually. And even if like moving away from her, I think it's caused you not to be able to trust other women. Because you've seen how great she is. Yeah, and for some of you, maybe it's caused you not to... oh my gosh, this is heartbreaking. For some of you, I feel like it's caused you not to pursue your own goodness or your own well-roundedness or your own light because you saw a woman who had it, who was great, and she couldn't have been more perfect, for him at least. You saw that, and then he started to hit on you, and then you were like, nobody is safe. So I think you stopped believing in love, and for some of you, it really made you wary of being friends with other women because potentially you were in his circle and he had you up in this woman's face, especially if you did have an affair. He had you up in this woman's face. And so I think it did something to your brain and it made you scared. And so it made you think, well, maybe it makes you very controlling in relationships and maybe very fearful of abandonment. And like always keeping tabs on your partner. But what that is a trauma. And it comes, I think, from this man. And what you saw in him, that he had everything and he could still turn his back on it. So nothing's real and love's not real. And also he was cheating on this woman with her friends or with people in her inner circle or people that were around her every day. This man had no shame. And you saw that. And I think it's made you scared to trust. And I feel like this is even on a friendship level. And so the scars of this run really deep. And that's an irony because the energy here is very superficial. It's very on the surface. And he's trying to keep things on the surface because he's terrified and he doesn't want to jump into that. But he's pushed all of his stuff onto other people and he's really caused a trauma in other people. And I'm seeing like scars right across the heart. And I think for you as well, you might be angry with yourself that you involved with this man. Because I think now the writing's on the wall and you can kind of see it, but I think it's because you were trying to outrun your own feelings of insecurity and like a lack of self-esteem. And I think whenever you were confronted with the truth here, because the truth is that he was just trying to use you as a distraction. And I feel like that would have been made clear to you at some point, you know, and or that he really loves her. That would have potentially been made clear to you at some point. Then it really would have gouged your heart. And I think that you would have been like, oh, like he hurt me. But I think some of you are mad at yourself because it was like the writing was always on the wall and you're kind of realizing that you took the bait because you mirror him in that same way where there's something here that you're running from. And I think it's maybe a hermit mode. It's like learning how to love yourself is what I'm hearing. You needed to be left alone to love yourself and to figure out who you are. Because I'm seeing you go up on the mountain and that's going to lead you to your right path. But you needed that time. It was a very sacred time. And it was a very sensitive time for you as well. And I feel like he's your karmic and that's when he showed up on the scene. And she's there as a light. Even if I kind of get the sense that you don't talk to her or you started to kind of grow distant from her because of the shame that you felt of what he has done. You know, I mean, some of you could be engaged in a third party situation, but you really like her. But it's her light that's shining a light on exactly who he is because you know how he feels about her and you know that she's great. You know that she's beautiful inside and out. And that setup, who she is and what he is doing is meant to just be a truth serum for you, to see him very clearly so that you don't engage in a cycle that causes you to victimize yourself upon him. You know what I'm saying? Like to walk away from that once and for all and to finally embrace your own hermitude. Because I think some of you are really trying to turn away from the world in this life cycle in a big way, or away from... I actually do think that. Like you're trying to break some kind of attachment to the world. So you could have come in where, I don't know, you don't feel like there's much for it. Nothing really kind of catches your eye or anything like that. I don't know. You're trying to kind of do that. But he sought to prey upon that, to be a bright spark, you know, for you. And it's just so he could use you as a life raft. And now he's drowning because I just saw him with like water wings on and he's like kind of getting like, help me, I can't tread water. It's like he's trying to hold on to you. And you're like, get off me, because he needs to go where he needs to go, where it's his divine path, which I think is over here with this woman. But there is a karmic choice in this lifetime where he needs to choose his quality relationship, which is with his soulmate partner. And that means prostrating himself to his own shadow work and his own spiritual path and living up to himself. And to stop running from the truth and to, for the love of God, stop treating a beautiful person terribly. And stop lying to her, is what I'm hearing, about who and what he is, because she's his soulmate. She's going to love him and they have things they need to work out. I just heard kinks they need to work out. So he may have a kink that's weird or strange that he's also ashamed of or feels, that he needs to work out, but it's connected to his shadow work. It's connected to something in his psyche. And I actually think in past lives he built up this kink by running away from her. And it, instead of just facing whatever it is that he needed to face. And now it's like maybe an addiction or it's something really big that needs to be overcome. Yeah. And so, but if you're on the side of things, I just felt something just like release in my second chakra. And I feel like you're kind of breathing and you're understanding that you were trying to outrun your own work or something that you can get for yourself, but you just needed to be allowed to go into your chrysalis. You needed to go into your process. And there's something about her and her light, whatever that is, her philosophy, her personhood, her career, her warmth, her personality, that is meant to help you do that. Maybe from a distance, because I'm picturing you in your chrysalis, and her light is kind of the warmth that keeps you warm while you're in there, kind of a thing. I don't know if this is a period of just deep introspection and questioning, but that's what you've always kind of needed from the situation. And he's not your soulmate. He's not. She is, I actually think. And but your path is like moving away from them. I don't know that she's your soulmate so much as maybe she's just, I'm seeing like a lighthouse, kind of like she's a light. She's a strong, bright light that just kind of illuminates things. And she's very strategically placed there by the divine is like kind of what I'm getting. And she's a helper like on your path. She's a light kind of guiding you home so you know what's in front of you and you can see clearly. And so I feel like actually your path is very far away from these two. It's in the exact opposite direction. And so I think you need to kind of turn tail and walk like away from what this is. And it's just because you have no desire to be manipulated. Like this is what I feel you're connecting with his little dance in front of you. I have no desire to be manipulated. I have no desire to be distracted. I know that you don't have love for me. I mean, he's a pleasant person and it's like acquaintance kind of love, That's as far as it really goes. That's as deep as it goes. And it's as far as it should have gotten in terms of your acquaintanceship. And anything further is karmic. It's karmic. It's going to be painful and it's going to teach you some kind of lesson here for whoever I'm talking about. And I think you needed to just see that very clearly, accept it for what it is. And I'm hearing myself say in another reading, acceptance leads to stability. Because this man destabilized you in some way. And possibly disrespecting her would destabilize you because she's powerful. She's got that sun energy. It's like there is a bit of divinity coming through this where it's kind of like flicking God in the face. I'm not saying that literally, but it just feels like it's more than just an ego purpose. It's more than just an individual's purpose, like why she's there, the function that she is serving. So there would be immense karmas that unfold from this space, I think. Yeah, I just heard from this moment on. It may, I feel like this is about choosing you and just seeing something for what it is, which is pretty meaningless. It's like very hollow. To you, it's hollow because this isn't something you're supposed to pursue. It's a dead end. Yeah, I'm just literally seeing two people shake hands like, hi, I'm so-and-so, hi, I'm so-and-so. And like, that's the extent of the acquaintance that I feel like you should have with this person. And I feel like naturally that's the extent of the acquaintance that you even want to have if you were allowed to connect with that inner space. So there's something about him that scrambles up your compass and your intuition and your own inner knowing, which it's not really fair because I can see that that's what you were on your way to achieving for yourself anyways, because you needed to move away from something, and some of you needed to physically move away from like family or friends or something here like that in order to spend some time alone, to be in hermit mode, to go into your chrysalis. And it's like right before you were getting ready to do that and kind of resign to the fact that you needed to do that, that's when this man showed up. And he used you to distract himself and to hurt her potentially. I don't think he wanted her to see though. I think he needs propping. I think he needs to prop up his own self-esteem. Oh, that's where you mirror. But him building his self-esteem is actually moving towards her. It's in a relationship. That's where you're opposites. Because he needs to build his self-esteem in a relationship and learn that he is her equal and that he can hold his own with her. And to learn to see a reflection of himself in her. That is actually his highest and best path in this life. Where I think you needed at least to go through to a period of aloneness. But your paths have nothing in common. Nothing to do with each other. And it's not fair because I feel like he pursued you, but he didn't pursue you for an honest reason. So in a way, he's kind of victimized you here. But I feel like he did it with a smile on his face and a positive attitude. That doesn't make a person good. And it doesn't make it the right thing. And it doesn't mean that it's love. And I think another thing you learned here is that attention is not love and schmegs is not love. Someone can give you attention and not love you. And they can be there out of fear and not love. But it's easy, it's blinding. It was meant to be a flash in your face to make you think that it was that he was more honest in his feelings than he actually was. And yeah, I think some of you learned the hard way that somebody can sleep with you and not have feelings for you. It's not that he wants, bad things for you. He just doesn't really think much of you. Like he doesn't think about you, He doesn't think about how that's going to affect you emotionally because he's in this I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but he's in this like fight or flight thing where he's not thinking about the consequences because he's just so, I'm just picturing somebody like, like just, screaming on the inside. So, yeah, I think that you were in a state of indecision about this in the past, but it's because you were in denial. I literally just pulled a card and the denial card came out. Yeah, you were in a state of indecision because you didn't know if it was love. And I think, yeah, and it severed you from a sense of purpose or something. It confused you. And I think that it was right. The writing was there on the wall that it wasn't love, and that you weren't better than this other person. We were very flattered that he was there spending time with you and doing schmegs with you, knowing that he had everything over here. And you thought, well, why is he doing that? Well, it must be love. And the reason he was doing that is because he was scared and he was running away. And he was distracting himself with superficial energy. And he didn't want to be called out, and he didn't want that to come to an end, because then again, it's that fear response. He's like got a phobia here of something. Yeah, this is about overcoming denial. But honestly, I feel a weird peace from you. Like, it's like that's what you want. It confused you. It really muddled you because you thought it was love. That's the thing that was really the kicker. That's the thing that really hurts, is because you really did think that it was love, because he made you think that. And that's the only reason why you stuttered. I think you can actually take or leave this man, to be honest. Like, now that you know exactly what it is, I think you're like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm supposed to go over here? Thanks for making me waste a year of my life, a-hole, or like whatever this was, Like, I actually think that you have a much easier time putting this man down after you realize what he's doing and what he's about and what this really actually is. It was just that he was keeping you in this confusing state of making you think that you were the favorite or favored, and you were using that as a prop instead of actually gaining genuine self-esteem. And I think that's the other thing that kind of crushes you, is you realize that if you had had more self-esteem, that you would have seen this clearly from the start, and I think you would have never involved with this man. And potentially, that you are part of a very loving woman's torture here, and you never would have done that if you were level-headed and if you were clear in your mind. And he was polluting your mind. And he could have told you lies about her or lies about his feelings about her, and you were you were like a sponge. You were very eager to accept that because there's a self-esteem thing. And you were literally just on the precipice of going to explore that and actually gaining traction for that with yourself. And the funny thing is, so was he. It's just that his version of doing that is over here with this lovely lady that he stomped in the dirt and spit on her face and danced on her grave and treated poorly. And you didn't want to be a part of all that. And he went and dragged you into it. And you tolerated it, or you participated because you thought that it was love. But it's the opposite. It's just superficial. It's distraction. And he's just tricking you in order to coerce, to manufacture your consent in that situation. But he's in a plutonic energy with this other lady because he wants her, but then he's scared. He's got to confront his own shadow. So I feel like I just saw like the groundhog, like if he pops out and he's scared of his shadow, then it's 6 more weeks of winter. And I almost feel like you were the point where like he popped up, he saw his shadow and he was like, so he ran. And I think that you were meant to kind of see the truth of the situation, both of you. And then it's like there's going to be another try or something like that. But I can see that he's got a karmic choice of quality versus quantity. Yeah. And maybe you do too. But I can see definitely for him. And then it's going to help him suss out that power and control are two different things. And that actually power can be empowering. Like, this relationship is very empowering. And I think he's going to get to a point where he's like, why was I ever running from this? This is like the biggest blessing. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.